So if you're watching this video, it's because you finally found a jean jacket that you really love and now you want to add some really cool patches to it. So this video was specifically created to help you guys out. So the first thing you need to do is grab your patches. So I have a couple different patches over the years from my travels to New York, the Taylor Swift concert in New Orleans. So the next thing I did was create a mock-up on PowerPoint just so I can see how the patches will look on the jacket prior to me placing on it. It's just a good idea if you want to like move things around. You could just see it, really quickly on your screen. So there's a couple of things that you're going to need. One's an iron, 2 is a towel, 3 is the patches, 4 is a jacket, 5 is a Sharpie, and 6 is a bed sheet. Right now we're ready to go. Just grab your iron and connect it to the wall unit. Grab a towel, place the jacket on top of it, and just line it up. Make sure the jacket looks good to you. Fix the sleeves and have your patches nearby as well, so that when you are in the process of ironing, they're just right next to you. So the first thing I decided to do was the sleeves of the jacket, just because those can be a little bit more tricky, and I wanted to start that first prior to starting the back or the front of the jacket. So here I am, just kind of like making sure everything is completely flat on the table. And I grabbed the Sharpie and I made a note of exactly where I wanted the patch. As you can see, I'm placing my Vampire Diaries Mystic Falls patch on the jacket, just making sure that's exactly where I want it to be. And definitely feel free to move the patch around, make sure it's exactly how you want it, it's completely in the direction that you want it. Towards the bottom, I also made some notes with the Sharpie because that's where I wanted my Coney Island patch. I absolutely love Coney Island when I go to New York, so definitely wanted it to be on my jacket. The next thing I did was just, get the area warmed up and ready. So the first thing you're gonna have to do is warm up the area with the iron. This is probably going to take about a couple of minutes. I would say maybe a minute or two. Just warm it up prior to putting anything on it. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to get the patch and you're going to place it on that area. Now you're going to grab your bed sheet and put it on the jacket on top of the patch. You're going to grab your iron and give it some heat through the bed sheet. Give it a couple of minutes, and then I just like to take a peek and see if it's actually, does it need more heat? Is it okay? At this point, it definitely needed more heat. The areas around it were starting to lift, so I just kept applying some heat, and it took a couple of minutes, as you can see. So definitely feel free to, nothing's gonna burn. Just make sure that it's actually ironed on properly to the jacket. So hold it in there. And as you can see right now, I'm just, using my finger to make sure all the edges are completely ironed in and that the patch is, it was well done, and I could move on to the next patch. As you can see, the next patch I have is my feminist patch, which I absolutely love. Originally, I wanted to place it there on the corner of the jacket where I could put my hand, but I decided later on that I think it would be really cool if I put it at the cuff of it. So here I am, just grabbing a Sharpie once again, making a note of exactly how I want it to look. Once the patch is ironed on, I made sure my jacket is completely flat. And then I did the same process, I warmed up the jacket with the iron of the area I wanted to put the patch on. I warmed it up, gave it a couple minutes until I thought it was warm enough. And then afterwards, I placed the patch on it. It's important that before you put the bed sheet on it and iron it again, that it is exactly in the direction that you want. So make sure it is straightened, or, if you want it to not be straightened, just make sure that it is actually, that you're actually having a really good look at it prior to, starting the next step, which is ironing it. So here it is, completely ironed. It looks good. It's ready to go. So on to the next one. I love the alien and the dope ones. I got this in a market in New York, and I absolutely love this artist. I also have my swan patch from her, which could be seen throughout this video, but I didn't really include it in this video per se. So definitely love those little guys. And I think at this point you guys know exactly what to do. It's just a matter of warming up the area, step 1. Step 2, putting the bed sheet on it. And then step 3, ironing it on top of the bed sheet, and just continuing to take a peek every, I would say a minute or two make sure it's completely ironed on prior to moving on to the next one. So here I am starting the one on the back, which is a big deal. So I decided the main patch I wanted it to be on in the back was my Taylor Swift Reputation tour, which I attended in New Orleans, apart from the Miami concert as well. So I wanted it to be centered. So here I am just making sure that it's completely centered and placing all the other patches around it as well, just so I can get a feel of how it will look in the end. Of course, I did a mock-up online through PowerPoint, as I said in the beginning of this video, but you know, I still think it's important to actually see how you want it to look. I made a note with my Sharpie, ironing the area, placing it. This was a pretty big one, so I definitely, you know, was a little nervous and about doing this one. So I did take some time to completely make sure it was centered prior to starting. You know, feel free to, you know, if you have any siblings or family members or friends nearby, ask them to take a look and call them over just to make sure that it's completely centered. Sometimes I have moments where it's not centered and I need someone to have a look at it. Kind of the same idea of, you know, placing a poster on your wall. You want to ask someone else what they think. So here I am just making sure the patch looks a little bit not quite done on the edge. So just giving it a bit more heat here. All right, it looks pretty good now. So just doing another test. Awesome. So I like to have my computer nearby just to remind me of exactly what I want to do and where I want things to go. I decided to put this little ice cream queen where my hand goes. I also did a video on my experience at the ice cream museum when it came to Miami, which is also on this channel, and that's exactly where I got this patch from. And then the rest of this video, I mean, at this point, you guys know exactly what to do. If you want to watch the rest of this video, definitely feel free to do so. I'm just putting on the rest of the patches I bought. My Harry Potter crest, which I am pretty sure I bought at Target. But, you know, there's so many different amazing Harry Potter themed patches that you can find online, definitely through Etsy. So down below in the description, I'll put a link to Etsy of some similar Harry Potter patches that look quite similar to this crest one that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know when I was looking to do some iron-on patches on my jacket, I was a little hesitant and nervous and I didn't know exactly what to do. So hopefully this video helps you guys out, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. And the last thing to do was add my two favorite pins. One of them is Xenon, and the other one is the vest that Jeremy Jordan wears, or as I should say, Jack Kelly wears in Newsies the musical.